Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to look at a very special rare piece of hardware. So this is an EVGA GTX 460 2-win, and as far as I know, there's only 3 of these in Germany. One that is owned by Der Bauer, this one, and then another one I saw on eBay that's dead. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at this. I do not own this card. This card was bought or paid for by FCR.ix, who's a friend from the JackNet RGB Discord from the overclocking channel there, because we have our little overclocking community there. He also got the GTX 460 SoC that I took a look at a while ago. And yeah, he asked me to pick up another card for him, this one. I don't know exactly how much he paid for it, but I think it was a rather high amount. And well, yeah, it does still come in the original packaging, and it was supposedly working. Was, because I've already tested this thing. This is just for show. I've put it back into the box so you can see it. I've tested the card, and from the tone of my voice you can probably see how well it went, but more about that later. So, very nice packaging here with this. This actually looks nice with the EVGA logo and this insert. And here we have the card itself. There's not any more accessories on it. That's just how the card came. But yeah, nice touch. It also has a hole in the back, because for some reason it says, important, make sure that these 2 stickers match before you buy this card. And then there's another one, this sticker on the actual card, which I don't know, serial number. I don't know. This might mean it's number 361. This was a very limited production run, very rare. Which is also why he's paying me to ship it to the US, because that's where he is. I'm well, no, he's not paying me. I'm doing this for free just because, yeah. But he's putting in the extra money to buy this card from Germany and then ship it to the US. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, I mean, in return, I get to I get to make some content with it. Show the card off to you. Devo already made a video about this. He also has a 560 Ti too, and I think, which is basically the exact same card. Just with different cores. And yeah, basically we're gonna take a look at this card. Ah man, I just wish this thing was working. I mean, yeah, it's a dual GPU card. My test bench really hates these things. And yeah, I mean, I have a GTX 590 that I first thought was also dead, but then got working. I did the same steps here, and I got the card booted, but basically, so from what I've seen in the NVIDIA driver, it does put out an image, it does get to the desktop, but crashes after 30 seconds. This and this output are Core A, and this output are Core B. Core B does not put out an image whatsoever, and Core A does put out an image. But you can't run benchmarks on it, it instantly crashes or artifacts, and even on desktop it only takes about 30 to 60 seconds for the entire system to crash and reboot. So yeah, and then 50% of the time this thing doesn't even boot Core A, and you just get basically TV static on the screen. Yeah, it looks pretty bad, kind of bad for this card. I've already told FCR about it. He was yeah, he's not super mad, he mostly wants it as a collections piece, because he would not want to overclock one of these. But yeah, he is gonna ask for a partial refund on this. But yeah. But let's not get distracted. Let's just get along with taking this thing apart and taking a look at the also interesting PCB of this card. And yeah, I don't want to get too into it. This is the first time disassembling the card. I tested it first. Yeah, I test things before I try to turn them on. So are there any more Is it really just the core screws and then 3 others? Oh yeah, that's a short coming off already. Huh. Oh, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, that's a shroud. It's metal. That's nice. Every single fan has its own connector. Oh wow. Yeah, let's try to be as gentle with this as possible. Don't want to get blamed for breaking the card by the seller, which, I mean, yeah, I've made pretty clear that I haven't disassembled this thing before. And I have already tested it. Okay. Yeah, and that's just the 2 heatsinks now. And let's get those. Oh, well, that's very light. Those are not tight. Was this thing disassembled before? I have a feeling this was disassembled. We're gonna see it from the thermal paste. If this thing was disassembled before. But those screws are like very, very loose. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like the typical eBay seller thermal paste. That doesn't look like factory. I think this thing has been taken apart. So maybe it was the seller who broke it. How do we get this one off? Seems to collide with something. Come on. Yeah, there's something in its way. I can't just like slide it off like the other one. Like wiggling it around, hoping it's gonna detach. There we go. So yeah. Here we have the PCB. It does kinda, yeah, it pretty much looks like a GTX 590, just smaller, because it's a 460 times 2, not a 580 times 2. Let's get this stuff off. I don't know what this thermal paste is, but like, it's so weird. Like, I've never seen this thermal paste anywhere else but on, like, oh, great. Touched it. Like, I only ever see this thermal paste on like eBay GPUs. I have no idea what this stuff is. Like, it's like this brown stuff that's like super sticky. Where does this stuff come from? I have no idea. Well, at least I'm gonna give the card a proper repaste. Like paste that doesn't go everywhere and sticks like it's bubble gum or something. At least it's not super hard to clean off. Alright, we're cleaning the little PLX chip. Alright. So, GF104325A1. I don't know if that's a normal 460 core. I don't remember. Yeah. This could be a normal 460 core. It could be like a different... this 325A1 might be different to a normal 460, because like the GTX 590, it's technically just 2 580 cores, but it was actually a different revision of that core. It could be that this one's also different, but I haven't memorized the exact model number of a 460 GPU well enough to know this. And yeah, we've got 2 of these, and of course we have a little NF200 chip right here, which is our PLX chip, which splits the PCI Express interface between these two. Or like, I don't know exactly how it works. Like, it shares the PCI Express slot between these two cores. And yeah, So our memory is 1 gigabit Hynix AFR, which is a first. This is the first time I'm seeing Hynix memory on a 400 series card. Every single 400 series card I've seen before this had Samsung eDI memory. So this one is Hynix AFR, which is interesting. So that's a first. Would have been interesting to see all this overclocks memory, but yeah. And now we can get into the part why this is not really that great of a card. So you see that? That's your V-core VRM. So it's a 3-phase for every core. And then you have an additional... Actually, yeah, there's one phase memory here, another phase memory here, and this down here should be powering the PLX chip. And no idea what that inductor, that could be 1.8 volts or PEX or... I don't know, this PCB is very cramped. That could be input filtering, it could be something else. Yeah. Last version, here's another sticker, this is actually a 462 win. We do actually have an SLI finger, which I think is different. I think I remember from watching the Bauer's video on this that his card had a sticker on this, that it's not used or whatever. This one didn't. I don't know if these work with SLI. I don't have 2 of them and this one's dead. So I don't know if 4-way works on these. But yeah, if anyone has 2 of them, I don't know. Yeah, but let's come back to the VRM. So, our controller is an NCP5388, which I think is the same controller you get on a 470 reference card. We have 2 of these, of course, because 1 for every core. And yeah, so the 3-phase it is powering is... It's using some sort of power stage. It is a very, very big power stage. It looks big. And these are Renesas chips. I'm gonna try my best to show this on camera. So you can see that. There you go. Yeah, so it's a Renesas R2J20604. No idea what that is, but I have a suspicion it's 35 amp power stages, because I think that's what the 590 uses. Yeah, I don't have it, I took this thing apart for the first time, obviously don't have a datasheet for these, but from what I know is that these cards very, very, very liked to break. Apparently running this at 1 volt is already enough to blow this VRM to smithereens, is what I've been told. And yeah, it's a 3-phase. The reference PCB for this is a 3-phase, but the reference PCB comes with discrete MOSFETs. And as much more efficient power stages are than discrete MOSFETs, as far as I know, with discrete MOSFETs, you can get a better per phase current handling capability. So this being the same number of phases, but using power stages instead of discrete MOSFETs, this has probably less overall current handling capability than a reference 460, which is worrying, because I did blow up a reference 460 VRM with not even a full 460 core, because my card is a 460 SE, which has some cores disabled and therefore draws less power. So yeah, now you should have a general idea of how weak this VRM is. And yeah, so FCR told me how, on the EVGA Discord, he asked one of the EVGA staff about how many of these were made. He didn't get an answer, sadly, but he was told by that EVGA staff member that these things, they hated them. Because these things had so many RMAs and were so annoying to deal with. Yeah, EVGA hated these, and I think they were pressured to actually forced to make these by Nvidia, I think. I remember something of the sorts. So yeah, they really didn't like these things. Which, I don't know if that's their own fault. It's kind of hard to, like, it's a dual GPU card, and dual GPU cards are always very, very space constrained. But I think they could have put a better VRM on this. Or just, like, put a heatsink on the VRM. Like, you saw it in the disassembly. There's no cooling on this VRM. So, yeah, I think that's... I think EVGA is somewhat to blame for the design if NVIDIA didn't, like, force some spec on them to use. Yeah. So, it's a very special, very rare, and very crappy piece of hardware that very, very much does live up to its reputation because this thing is dead. And, like, I don't know which core is A or B. I just saw it in the NVIDIA control panel, the few seconds it did run. But let's, for comparison's sake, let's say this is A, this is B. So core B is completely and utterly dead. Like, it does pick up in GPU-Z and like reports temperatures or whatever, but it doesn't put out a picture whatsoever. And then this one does kind of work, but as soon as you put any load on it, it just craps out. Or just like idling on desktop for a bit, just dead. Craps out, doesn't work. So yeah, I'm a bit sad it doesn't work. But you were not going to use this thing anyway, or you would break it. Like, if you use this thing, you're gonna break this. And at this point, like, this started out as a very limited production run, and from what we know, so many of these died that, yeah, having a working one and using it would probably be a war crime. So, yeah, these are basically just wall ornaments and nice to look at. And I guess it can still serve this purpose even if it's dead. It's just, I'm not looking forward to the part where, like, I have to record evidence that this thing is dead, and then we have to go, like, back and forth between the seller, who's only speaking German, and FCR, who's only speaking English, and then I'm sitting somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I just kind of hope he gets that refund done. Oh, man. Yeah. And one thing I haven't talked about yet is just the completely... just how crazy it is to get this thing even working. So, dual GPUs in my test bench do not mix. They just don't. When I got my GTX 590, it just wouldn't put out a picture at all at first. And I first suspected it's dead, but actually it turned out, no, the card is fine. What I have to do for my test bench for it to work with dual GPU Fermi cards is go into the BIOS and manually restrict the PCI Express generation to 2.0, because these are 2.0 cards, and when it's automatic, it should automatically switch to 2.0 because these don't support 3.0, but apparently something's going wrong and the card won't probably work. But if you restrict the PCI Express link speed to 2.0, then the 590 worked just fine. And this is also what made this card put out a picture. It's just, before that, I had my test bench just cease working completely. No matter what GPU I used, it wouldn't put out a picture for a while. Then it would put out a picture, but then this card wouldn't work. And yeah, running these at their best day is annoying. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is rare, this is special, but this is not something that you will like if you use. This is like a collector's piece, and a collector's piece only, because if you're gonna use these, you're either gonna kill it or tear your head out, or both. Probably both. So, yeah. I don't think it's worth doing a PCB overview of this, because, like, I showed you the power stages, and it should be basically everything you need to know. Yeah. So, GTX 462 win. It's one of those. It's out there. And I think I'm running out of things to say. So, yeah, it's a wacky little weird card. And it is very much living up to its reputation. And I hope you somewhat were able to follow my incoherent ramblings. So yeah, if you did, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.